Hello everyone! I'm Buford MC, and welcome back to another adventure in GregTech New Horizons. So today, we are going to be working on another new multi-block, and the multi-block that we're going to be working on today is the steam presser. So this multi-block here is quite a large one, and we are going to need quite a few things for it. We are going to be making this one out of bronze, but that's also not all for today because we're going to be doing a 2-for-1 special. We're not going to be making just one multi-block. We're actually going to be making two multi-blocks. So we're also going to be making the steam purifier. So we're going to be making these two multi-blocks today, and we're going to be using them in order to try and set up a bit of an ore processing system in conjunction with the centrifuge, which we already made a couple of episodes ago. So we've got a lot of stuff to do, so let's get started. So I've already begun preparation on some of the key components we're going to need, and we do need quite a bit of stuff in order to get these things up and running. So what I've already done is I've already got the machine casings for the machines and also the hatches and buses. So the only thing we still need to get are some of the other stuff. We do need the controllers and a couple of other things as well. In fact, we do need to get some iron blocks going, I think. So let's go ahead and throw those into the compressor so we can get that started. And then I also think we do need... Well, we'll start with this one. We'll start with the steam presser, get all that, and then we'll do the purifier. So let's see if we can get the bronze pipe casings. We only need a few of those. Let's see what we have and what we need. Okay, we need a couple of things for that. I think we need some pipes. And something just broke. That was my wrench, actually. So I'll pull this one out. That is my new backup. All right, there we go. We got 8 pipes. Put those back in. Go there. That's fine. And then put the hammer there and the wrench back in my inventory. And then what else do we need for this? Oh, we need some bronze frame boxes. Do we have any bronze rods? Yep, we have a couple of them in here. I think it was only 2 we needed. Let's put you in there. That shouldn't take long. I'm making up a lot of potent right now as well because I've been needing some larger pipes for potential of how much steam we might use from this system because, yeah, this might use quite a bit of our steam. I'm not even sure we have enough, but we'll talk about steam as well possibly later on today as well. So we have the bronze frame boxes. Let's make the 2 pipe casings. There we go. So we've got that done. And then let's just see. I think that's everything for this one. Yeah, after that we have the iron blocks. So let me put that there. Just confirm that. That's 7 items. Oh no, we need the controller, of course, don't we? I didn't think about that one. All right, we need the controller. So we've got the 2 blocks of iron right here. And now we need to worry about getting that controller. So what do we need for that still? Steam presser, we need... Ooh, we need an anvil. Okay, so that... You can use an alloy smelter? Nope, you need MV for that. Alright, so we need actually quite a few more blocks of iron. So we need, I think, 5. Which is going to be, I think, that's quite a bit of iron. 45, I believe. So 45 iron ingots will go in there, so we should get that in a bit. And then we can go ahead and make the steam presser. How long is that going to take? Oh, only 4.5 seconds, okay. And let's just take you out of here. There we go. All right, so now we can go ahead and make our anvil. And that is right here, and there is an anvil, and that should be a steam presser. Lovely. All right, so we'll put you in there, and that should complete that quest. Now we can turn our attention to the steam purifier, which is actually going to be quite a bit more expensive. So the purifier, I'm going to be making this one out of steel. And speaking of steel and stuff, I have been using a lot of materials. As you can see, steel now, we are under 500 ingots left in this drawer here. I'm under 200 bronze. I'm running out of tin. I had to go mining for copper, actually. I got more downstairs now, but we were running out of copper as well. So I've been going through a lot of resources making all these multi-blocks lately, but what do we still need? So glass. All right, glass is easy. I have plenty of that in here. I think it said, yeah, 24 we need. So put you in there, and then these right here. These are quite expensive blocks. So I think I've got most of that already prepared. So the steel gearbox casing, we need 8 of them, and I can only make 1. Okay, let's see why that is. I need 7 more, and we're out of steel plates. That's why. Alright, we do have some in here, so that's perfectly fine. Alright, so we need 7 more of these, and we can have 7 more. Lovely. Alright, so we have that. And then we need the 12 steel pipe casings, and we can have exactly 12. Lovely. I love it when everything plans out accordingly. So we got that, and I still have some extra steel plates on me. We can just put those back in here for now. All right, and what else do we need? So we have, okay, we have everything but the controller for that one as well. Lovely. All right, so that is coming along. And now we just need to make the actual steam purifier itself. And that, we have everything for. Oh, I need to do that again. Nope, that's the wrong machine. All right, there we go. Steam purifier. And that should be another quest. Yes, there we go. All right, so we've got these already prepared, and, well, I think it's time to go ahead and start assembling them, and then we'll try and use them. So let's do this one at a time, actually. So we'll go ahead and do the presser first. So we'll take all the pieces we need for that, and then we'll come back and do the purifier. So I've already planned out where these things are going to go. So let's go ahead on down here. And I have done some additional preparation for this as well. So this right here is just me marking out where I was going to put them. So this is going to be where we put the steam presser right next to the centrifuge, which I also have been doing some adjustments over here, as you can see, and we'll look into that in a bit. But we're going to put this guy right here, which should be, yep, all of this is in the same chunk, so that's quite good. So what we're going to do is we're going to consult the guide, and layer 1, we just need to put a bunch of bronze-plated bricks, but we're going to put the steam hatch in the center, and I've already put in a pipe right there as well, so where's our steam hatch at? Let's put you there. Let's get our wrench out. Have you go there, and in fact, let's start breaking all of this now that we don't need that there anymore. So I've got this designed already a little bit, but we'll see how it turns out. I might make some adjustments. But we're going to put this thing facing this direction. That's the plan. So what do we need to do again? Steam presser. We do... Okay, just that. I think it's the same size as this one right here. So not going to do anything fancy along here, I don't think. I believe it's something like this, actually, right? Yeah, that was it, I believe. Let me just confirm that. Yep, that looks good. So now we go to layer 2. So that is where we're going to put in the actual controller and... Alright, so this one. So it looks like we're empty here in the middle. Put something... I believe something like this. Check that again. Yep, and then the actual controller itself. That goes right there. And then... Next, we're going to need to go to layer 3, which is very simple. It's just a matter of, I think, 2 here. Ooh, we need to move that torch. 1 there and 1 there. And then layer 4, we go up again. This time, we need to put an iron block. I just put that there so I could place that down. And I need a wrench. We got that there, and then layer 5, we go up again, basically the exact same thing. This is basically right here, like the press right here, the metal press. So then we go on to layer 6, which we're going to need to put down the little supports right here. And what else did it need? Right, the bronze pipe casing, and I'm actually out of plates. Or the, what is it? The plated bricks right here. So we put that there. And then the final step was to put 1 more of these on top, but I need 2 more. So now we got to figure out where I'm going to put the input and the output. So actually, all right, so the output bus, see if I plan this out correctly or not. Where do we want to put this? Okay, so we might actually change this a bit. So I had this, let's go to sleep. It is nighttime, I just noticed. Let's go to sleep quick, and then we'll sort this part out. Right, so I was thinking, let me get a look at the size of this. So I can't get up there from there. Do we have any ladders? Let's climb up here. Right, so I had the input for the centrifuge here because we're going to need to start piping stuff from this guy into here. And I don't think it's going to work the way I set it up there. I mean, we still need to put, I could put the output bus there. That's a little bit off. So what we might do instead then is, what if I move you and put you there? And in fact, of course, that guy got stuck up there. How do we get up there? I got stuck in the worst possible location too, didn't he? Oh, I can go up. Can I go up through here? Yeah, I can go up through here. That's fine. And then you go there. Just make sure you are fine with that. Yep, looks like you are. And then let's go ahead. So this should be even with you right here, because we can put the output bus in pretty much anywhere. So put you... Nope, that's the input bus. Alright, we're getting this all over the place, but this is what I mean. I had to actually build it so I could see what it will do first. This is what I meant by plans may change, and they may still change a little bit. Alright, so we got that, and then I can put you there. And then let's take these. Well, we might need to go up there again. Alright, so for this one, for now I'm just going to put the input bus here, but we may have to change that after we build the ore washer. Because basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to build a little bit of an ore processing chain. So actually, if we look up some sort of an ore here, this is what we're trying to basically do. Let's look up any crushed ore will do for now. No, I want GregTech because that's what we're doing. Well, this should do too. There we go. Whatever this is. Is this a good one, actually? Actually, yeah, this is perfect. So basically, for most ores, if we look at them, there's a main path they go through. You put them through a macerator. From the base ore you get, the raw ore is what we would have. And you would get 2 crushed ores. And we would put this crushed ore through an ore washer to get a purified crushed ore, which would then go into a macerator, but you can also use a forge hammer, which is faster. We shouldn't really use a macerator because we won't get the additional byproducts, but we can put it through a forge hammer or macerator and then through a centrifuge. So basically that's what we're doing. We're going to start here with the ore washer, which will go there. This is going to be the forge hammer, and then that's going to be the centrifuge right there. So what was I going to do here? Oh, we need to put this here. I think that should complete the structure finally. And then, of course, we need to put in the input bus. And, of course, I missed that. All right, let's just do this like that. It looks like that did form, I believe. So let's take this ladder down. And let's check you. Yep, looks like you're running fine. All right, turn you off for now. All right, so there we go. There's our forge hammer. And actually, are you... There's the steam hatch. You're not getting any power there, so let's head down there and make sure that you're hooked up to steam. And then we'll turn our attention to building that ore washer. Because again, these things are pretty much going to go together. So I have upgraded all my pipes in this line right here to huge potent pipes, which carry a lot more steam. In fact, we're going to need, looks like 1 more pipe. Do I have that in here? No. Okay. All right, well, we'll grab the stuff for the purifier, and then we'll go ahead and finish connecting that up. Let's head back up here. Let's put you back on there. And we'll grab the stuff for the purifier. Now, the purifier is going to be a little bit more complicated to build, I think. So we'll take a look at that in a bit. Let's grab you, and then I need to grab some pipes. That'll do. Alright, so got a lot of stuff in this one. I might need some extra glass as well in case I misplaced that, because I won't be able to get that back unless I have Silk Touch, which I don't think we have. Alright, so We'll connect the steam up for both of these at the same time. We'll wait on that. So what we need to do now is we need to make the steam purifier, which we have this structure here. So this is quite an interesting looking structure. So what we need to do, start on layer 1. We're going to build this part up here, and what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and break that. So that's that. I've already connected up some steam near here. In fact, actually, let's just do this now so I don't forget. I'm going to have to go back down for that one anyways, but we're going to need to go ahead and do that, and then a steam hatch is going to go right here. All right, you look to be filling in. That's good. And then the next part of this, we have to build the second part, which was... Let's take a look again. 1 block over, and it's a 5x5 now, so we have to do something like this. And then we will surround you with these little... Oops, what, wrong one there. The gearbox casings, I believe it was. Put you there. Consult that, and then in the middle, it says bronze plated brick or something like that, but we're going to put a input hatch. In fact, let me break that right there, because this is an ore washer, so this is going to need a source of water, which we need to connect up, and we'll go over what I'm doing for that. Let's turn these chunks off as well. We don't need that, I don't think. All right, so that's the first layer of the steam purifier. Next, we need to go to... Well, let's turn tier 2 on, because we are making out of steel. So next, we need to do this. So we put the controller there, and then we'll put all the machine casings. In fact, actually, I just remembered, we're going to put the input bus right here. That will be an input bus, and then we're going to go like this. And then I believe it was the actual controller goes there. Just making sure the middle is still a machine casing. It looks like it is. Put that there. And then for the other part of this, the 4 corners are going to be machine casings. And then the middle, we're going to put a pipe casing. And it looks like the rest is going to be glass. Now, this thing right here says we do need water in here, but I think it's going to automatically fill up with water if we give the input hatch water. If it doesn't, we'll have to manually fill it in, but we'll see. I've seen conflicting things on that. So let's continue on then to the next layer. Layer 3 is basically the exact same thing. So we're going to go ahead and do that for you. And then we'll do this. And this. And then we'll put some more glass in. This is an interesting looking multi-block though, isn't it? Alright, so next we go on to layer 4. And that is going to be a little bit different now. So we need 1 steel pipe casing here. 1 in the center here. And then I believe it was... machine casings except for the corners now, so on top of the glass, basically. And, okay, we're out of that because we need to put some of the output. So, how are we going to do the output? I think what I was going to do... let's see. How do I want to do the output? So I had one idea, but I don't think that's going to work too well. Alright, for now, I'm going to put the output actually right here. Because basically what we need to do is we need to get this in. So I might actually drop that down in a bit, but we'll do that in a bit. So let's put you there. I believe the rest of the structure, layer 5, we just go up again with this and this. And then layer 6, we connect them up. Just like that. Except we don't have the water yet, so I don't think it's actually going to form. Oh, no, it is formed, I think. Yeah, it has formed, actually. Okay, so that's a good sign. So now what we need to do to get this thing operational is we need to connect up some more stuff down here. So let's head down here. And you'll notice we have a bronze pipe here full of water. So actually, before we do that, let's go back up again because let me show you where that's coming from. So that water pipe is originating from our... what was it called again? It was like not the water tank. It was this guy up here that we were using to power the multi-farm over here with water. The water pump, that's what it's called. So we're using the water pump, and I made a second water connection on this side with the small bronze fluid pipe. So this follows along here, and then it comes down here, and that ends up inside of the bottom part of the basement down here. So I believe that comes down into this room down here. Yep, there's the pipe. It keeps going down all the way down to the pipe area, and then it continues across underneath here over to there. So that's where the water's coming from for this thing. And I did the small pipe. I think we should be just fine on that. I'm not sure how much water's going to use. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll have to increase the pipe size, actually, but we'll see for now. I don't know how fast this ore wash is going to be, so that's the big question. So, in fact, the input hatch is right there, so we need to get this over to there. And I've overshot that by 1. Let's turn that off. And then let's do this. Work right there. Alright, there we go. Nope, wrong way. I want that one, and then we'll put the little arrows on that. Alright, I think the arrows... Is that filling up? Yes, it is. Alright, that thing is completely filled now. So let's see what the actual structure's looking like. Okay, interesting. There's no water in there right now. It is nighttime. Let's go to sleep again as well. Oh, we need to connect up that steam presser as well to some steam. Alright, let's go back down again. And then we'll try and test this thing out. So that thing didn't fill with water, but the tank is full. So we'll take a look at that. But I still need to get you connected. So I just need 1 pipe. Actually, let's break that. There we go. That'll work, I think. Alright, so that should be full of steam now. Alright, so I think we're ready to go finally. I think we're finally almost ready to start testing these things out right here. So, you're running fine. And you're running fine. And you're running fine. Lovely. Alright, so now that we've actually got these things assembled and everything seems to be running fine. Actually, let's move you down a little bit. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. So, I'm gonna put this... Now I'm gonna put it right there. Let's just confirm. Yep, that's just updated. Alright, so there we go. Yep, that should work. Alright, so now we need to start connecting up some stuff. So, what do I have on me, actually? Oh, over here, actually, we should have some barrels. We might need, actually, a couple of more barrels, but what we're going to do is we're going to start this off by setting an input here, which is going to be with a conveyor module, which is, I believe, going to be set to import. We can confirm, well, we can't really confirm that because I can't see it anymore. Well, actually, I can, I guess. Put a ladder there, we'll see if it goes. Better way to do this would be to put it down, see? Let's see. I actually have the same thing here. Let's set the import. That should work, actually. Yeah, there it goes. It just went. See, I always get tripped up on that. Alright, let me take this out. So I'll put the barrel... Actually, you know what? Might be... No, let's just do it like this. This is fine. So what we're going to do is we need to grab some sort of a ore to wash in there. So I've been mining some copper in the nether, and should have plenty of stuff in here. Yeah, this stuff right here. Crushed tetrahedrite. So I'm just going to pick all this stuff up as much as I can carry, and we're going to put that in that barrel and start processing it. So this is just going to be for testing purposes for now, because I'm still not quite sure how exactly all this will turn out, but we'll see. So let's put this in here. And that should start taking some of it. This thing's full of steam. Let's turn you off actually quickly. I don't want that thing to run just yet. The next thing we need to figure out actually is, does this need a circuit? Because it might. Let me just look at this. Waiting forever for your ores to clean up. This is your fix. Yeah, the multi-block, because this has two modes, because this actually works as an ore washer, and it can be a simple washer, which doesn't give you the byproducts. We're going to go for the byproducts, and the simple washer is also a lot faster. So, like other multi-blocks, this mode can be toggled by the respective button inside the GUI, or by right-clicking the control. Okay, so what button do we have? Mode switch. Okay, so this is set to be an ore washer right now, and it should have stuff in. So let's see what happens if I turn it on. Recipe was found but had internal error. Okay. Oh, never mind. There we go. So we're going to get a couple of things out of this. We're going to get some stone dust, purified tetrahedrite ore, and the byproduct we're going to get is antimony dust. So what we need to do now... Oh, look at this. This thing's full of water now. That's interesting. So, how long does that take? Oh, now it's 6,000, actually. 20 seconds, actually. That's a bit. Actually. What pipe did I connect to you? And I just heard someone come in. That sounds like just a normal enderman. Alright, let's take him out. There was an ender creeper. Oh, there he goes. He just went away. I think he went upstairs. Now, there he is. He looks already mad, doesn't he? Oh, there's two of them. Okay, we got one guy down. The other guy is somewhere. Maybe he left. He's getting hurt by something. I think he might be down below again. There he is. Alright, let's take this guy out quickly. Do have weakness, but... there he goes again. Yeah, maybe he'll leave us alone finally. Alright, so... what were we just now doing? We were working on getting this set up. So... this thing's running now, and we should be getting some stuff in here. So we're going to be getting the purified tetrahedrite ore, some antimony, and stone dust. And it does run every 20 seconds. Yeah, this thing does run 6,400 liters per second of steam, though. So let me actually quickly check one more thing. This pipe, it only carries about 6,000. Seems to be keeping up, but I might have to upgrade that pipe as well. But I can do that. That's not a big deal. Alright, so... yeah, everything seems to be running here. So what we need to do now is we need to figure out how exactly we're going to output some of these items here. So, let's see. How do I want to do this? This is actually... So what we need to do is I want to make it so the purified tetrahedrite ore is always going to go into here, because if the other stuff goes in, it's just not going to do anything. So we're going to need actually some more barrels, I think. We have 2 here. I might need to pluck a couple from here for now, but what we can do is I think we're going to need some tin pipes, of course. We're also going to need a conveyor module. And that's going to go... well, let's not cook that up yet. Let's do that part last. So, alright, we might move that input bus again. What we're going to do is... let's put you there, and we're going to put a barrel there. And then put you here. Actually, what if... that's a good idea. Let's do that. Kind of looks a little strange if I do it like this, but it'll make sense, I think. So we need to put that there, 2 barrels like this, and then the input bus is actually going to be moved over here. Put you there, and then the input bus to this guy will go here. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that these things know exactly where to go. And because the way that the pipe's going to be connected, so we'll connect you up to this. I might have to make some adjustments to this at some other point, but For now, I just want to show it, see if we can get this at least working the way I intend. So, all right, this is already filling up quite a bit, and it's probably stopped because there's not enough output space. So what we're going to do, we're going to take out the stone dust, and we're going to put, I shouldn't have taken all that out, actually. In fact, let's, I think I can put it back in. So we'll put a stone dust in here. We're going to lock that barrel, put that back in. We're going to take 1 antimony dust. And the way this system's going to have to work is every time we run an ore through here, we're going to have to select the byproduct we get from here and put that dust in here. Now, there are other ways I was going to try and do this, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But there are some issues with me actually being able to make the things I need. So that should work, and actually now we should be able to put the conveyor in. Because everything should go into its proper area. So we'll export, and that should start filling up, I think. Now, the only problem with this, though, is this is going to be quite slow. It's every 20 seconds, isn't it? Right, that is another possible issue. But it should eventually start feeding something in. We'll see. That's set to oh, no, that needs to be import. My bad, because it's connected to the pipe. Forgive me for that one. All right, so this should start filling in, but we might have to change this, though, because the input is going to be... maybe we change that a little bit more. You know what, actually, I just had a better idea. Let's change this. I don't know if anything even went to anywhere. Okay, so as you can see, actually, yep, this is what I wanted. The purified tetrahedrite ore did actually go there, but we're going to change this a little bit. I just had a better idea than this. Let's grab the dolly so I can just move this without having to change that. Okay, this is going to be better, actually. So we're going to move that there, and we're going to put in... In fact, actually, they're going to be moved again. We're going to put you there, and we're going to put you... Whoop, we're going to put you there. We're going to move away that torch, and take these items out for a moment. And in fact, we need to turn that off, because it will void everything. I guess it's not a big deal if I lose some of this. I have plenty of this stuff, but let's let that finish first. And then we're going to move that over into here now. Or actually, yeah, here. Here will work. Or maybe here. No, actually here will be fine. See what I mean? I have to think about this as we do it. Alright, so I've stopped you. Take these out. And let's pluck you. Interesting how the water stays there now. And then put you there. That there. Alright, that should work. Let's go to sleep. It is nighttime once again. In fact, I don't think there's any spawnable blocks on these, is there? Yeah, that's underneath, so that should be fine. Alright, so we have this. And now... I'm going to connect the conveyor module... Oh, it's still on here, isn't it? Alright, maybe we'll keep it like that then. So we'll connect you like that. Let's get that thing started up again. You know what, actually? I don't know if a conveyor module is going to be fast enough for this. Tell you what, actually. Because that is 20 seconds, I'm getting 3 different stacks of things. So this, yeah, conveyor module is not going to be fast enough for what I need. So, actually, I think what will actually work better in this case, as weird as it might sound, I think a hopper. But we're gonna need bigger pipes for that. Right, alright, let's try this again. Let's try this from another angle here. What would we just do? Alright, that was kinda strange. Alright, so actually... You know what? Yeah, I think if we do that... Because the problem's gonna be speed with that. We need bigger pipes. Alright, let's head back up here and work on that now. In fact, I might have some pipes ready to go already. Let's see. Yep, I do have large tin pipes. We need 1 stack a second. That will work, because that's the speed of a hopper normally anyways. Alright. We're getting there slowly. We're figuring out. This was always going to be the hardest part. The forge hammer to the centrifuge should be much easier. This was always going to be the hardest part to figure out. So we need to put in this pipe here. That will go there, that will go there. I'll connect you up like that, and then we need to go underneath and place our hopper in. That will go right there. And connect you up. Now, I think that will keep up a lot better. And then, of course, we need to finish hooking all of this up because this is going to come... Alright, so we're going to actually move you back here after all. Back and forth we go, I guess. So, you go there, and then you go there. And I'm just going to stop putting these in here for a moment, and we'll set that up, and then we need to connect the pipe as well. Alright, so there we go. That should work. I think... Even check and see. So now let's turn you back on and see how that will function. So, I'm going to get some stone dust, purified tetrahedrite dust, and everything should actually function as I hope it does. Let's put everything else we have in here for a moment. Let's see what happens. So, yep, it's dropping all of that off. And the stone dust... Let's see, is it going in there? Yep, it is going in there. It's going into the hopper first, and then it has to continue going through the other system, but we should have picked up some additional stuff in here, I think. Alright, so I think that is working. So now we can move on to the forge hammer. So this thing is now getting loaded up with the purified ore, and now we just need to turn this on. I don't know how much power this is going to consume. But this is going to make the purified pile, and that is, oh, only 3,200. That's not that bad. And that is going to come out into here. And this will work quick. This is just going to be really fast. I mean, see, this is, we don't need the steel version. I mean, 0.8 seconds. And we're on the bronze version. That's quite good. So, I think everything, check the hop as well. Yeah, I think everything's working as I hope. That looks good. So now all we have to do for this, and this we can get away, I think, with just the tin pipes, is we're going to connect you along here. Although, actually, I don't know how fast the centrifuge is going to be, so we actually are going to do one more thing. We're going to put in a normal barrel. Yeah, because I think it's going to be a little bit too, so let's just, well, actually not that one. Let's do the one at the bottom. That'll be a little bit better considering what I've got here. That there, put that there. Alright, put you right there. We're not going to lock that, and we're going to need to set an imp. Yep, there we go. And that is... Again, I gotta figure this out. Well, let's just see. Well, actually, this should be functioning. Oh, I need another one for you as well, don't I? Let's put that there. And then... So we're going to set that to export. Are you going in? Okay, you're going in. Perfect. And then you're going to be set to import because it's connected to the pipe. We're importing into the pipe, and that should end up in here. I think. So all that seems to be functioning. Nothing's getting clogged up here, so this pot seems to be working as I hope. Yep, there we go. So that now goes into the input bus for the centrifuge. So now, if I turn this on, we start getting our normal tetrahedrite dust. Yeah, 18 seconds. So that's why we need a buffer, because this will fill up. Otherwise, all this will shut down at some point. It'll all clog up. So that's why we need that at this point, and that will run, and we'll get our tetrahedrite dust, which will go into this output bus, like that, and all we need to do now is set up a conveyor module, and also there is a chance of getting a byproduct, I believe, from this as well. But at this point, we don't really worry too much about the byproduct. If we take a look, we can get a chance of getting some zinc dust, but all of this is going to go. It's all normal dust, so that's the important thing. We're going to connect you, import bus, And what should happen is we should see some tetrahedrite dust appear in this barrel right here, and there it is. Lovely, and now I can lock that barrel. So basically what I've set up here is I've set up kind of a snaking pattern of these pipes, which starts at this barrel, kind of goes down like this around here, and as we get more and different dusts, it's all going to kind of keep going further along, and I'll just keep extending this along here as I need to. So that seems to be how that works. Eventually we should get some zinc dust right there. We'll get some in just a bit, and I think all of that's working. So what else we can also do, and I think we're going to need a little bit more tin pipes for that. Let's take a look, and I might need another conveyor module as well. I got one here. So what else we can also do is we're also going to be able to get the antimony dust out of there as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to need more tin pipes. Do I have any tin plates on me? I do, but not many. Alright, let's get some tin plates going again. Don't think I have any in here either, no. Doesn't look like I do. Alright, well, let's see what else we can do. Well, actually, no, while we're waiting for that, let me explain something else. So, for this ore washer, this is the system I've come up with. I had another idea in mind, but I want to tell you why I had to do it this way for now. So, if we go to the LV quest chapter right here, originally what I was going to try and do for sorting all this out was I was going to look at these items right here. Handle tiny piles like a king. This quest mentions about something like a low voltage type filter, which filters by item type. So that was something I wanted to use. There's also these other quests down here which talk about low voltage recipe filter, which is quite interesting, I think. I'm not exactly sure how these work. I wanted to test them out, but basically wanted to use it to put a machine of any type, create a filter based on the machine, so that could have been quite useful. And then there was also this one, which is a regulator. I'm not exactly sure what that one is. Looks like it filters 9 different items or something like that. But anyways, I wanted to make all of these, and I can't. So the problem is we need something called item filter. And to make this, you need some zinc foil, which we can get, fine steel wire, which we can also get, but you need something called molten polyethylene. And this is not quite something that is simple for us to get at this point. We will have to make it at some point soon, but it's going to take a lot of work for us to be able to get to it at this point. So the way you make it is in a chemical reactor. Only LV power is needed, but you're going to need ethylene and compressed air, so that's not really an issue because you can use a compressor for that with some empty cells. But ethylene, the way you get this is basically we need to use a distillery and we need to use oil. Now, to do this process right here is... There's a couple of steps involved in this, and I'm not going to go over all of them right now. But the basic point is, if I were to do that, we will have no power left, because we're going to need a tremendous amount of power to get into oil. So I can't make this item filter right here, which means I can't make this item right here. I can't make this quest done. I can't do this quest. I can't even make the sifter, which is something else I was wanting to make quite recently. So I can't do any of that until we get into polyethylene, which means we need to get into oil, which means we're going to need a lot of power upgrades. So that's what we're going to have to be doing in the near future. And yeah, we're going to need some more power. Let's go to sleep quickly. But yeah, so we're going to need to start working on getting some more power, and I think we're going to have to start working on getting into some oil soon. But I also soon want to start working on getting into batteries over here. So I think we're going to work on power upgrades, batteries, and then I think we're going to have to turn our attention over to oil and probably have to get polyethylene so that I can try and see if I can get these to maybe make this a bit simpler. Of course, this seems mostly good right now. I mean, it's working. Seems like nothing's getting stuck in here. And also, why is that zinc dust not going in there? Oh, it's the same issue we had here, isn't it? Yeah, 18 seconds. It's not going to be able to take it out because of the pipe, the speed of the conveyor. The LV conveyors are just not that good. That's the problem. This is less of an issue because it's never really going to clog up. If it clogs up, it'll just start taking it away, but eventually we'll get to that zinc dust. So that's kind of how that's going to work, I think. But that mostly works. I mean, yeah, I don't really want to put a hop on that one. But yeah, that is that system. So let's do the final step that I wanted to set up for this as well, because there was one more thing, like I said, and we needed some more tin pipes to do that. So let's see if I can... Yeah, that would be good. Do that, and put those in there. And then put that back there. I'll take the tin plates with me because I might need them. So what we're going to do now is I want to hook up that kind of byproduct of the ore washer, and we're going to hook that up to the main kind of network over here. That's what I want to try and do. So we're going to connect this up like this. The stone dust I don't really care about. I might just start avoiding that because we're just going to get that every time we wash some of this stuff. How do we want to do this, actually? I go too up. I don't want to go too high up here. How high will this go? We could just do something like this. Well, no, I want to hook it around like that. So, if I come maybe up one more and then across. Will look kind of strange, but I think this will be fine. Yep, and then we can just hook that around there. I'll do some adjustments on this over time as well. I just want to see if we can get something up and running for today at least. And then I hook that up there. And then we put in this conveyor module. Connect it to here, and we set that input. I think I'm starting to get the hang of that now. And eventually, in a couple of seconds, we should see that antimony dust appear in this barrel right here. If I've done this part correct. Yep, there it goes. Just went in, and there it is. So antimony dust in here. And eventually, once this kind of thing... Well, you know what? Let's turn this off so we can see that for ourselves as well. Turn that off temporarily. This will also send us zinc over into this barrel then. So this is basically how this system over here works. I might do a couple of adjustments over time to this. We'll see. But I think it's mostly working quite well. Yeah, this could be done better, but I think we've done it well enough. I mean, we've already processed so much. How much stuff's in here? Okay, so that's going to be always empty, actually. I take that back. This barrel, yeah, so this one's going to get a little bit filled up over time, depending on how much stuff we process in here. How much steam is this then running? Also, the zinc should be just about to go through. So the thing with this, yeah, this guy's just hardly ever running. That's the other thing. So most of the power is actually coming from here. Does seem to be keeping up. And then from here. Which I turn that on, and there's the zinc dust as well that just went through. So as you can see, yep, that's all working as I want. That's good. I turn you back on. So in terms of overall power, this isn't actually that bad. I'm quite happy with this. So yeah, this is kind of a little LVH ore processing setup. There will have to be some additional, I think, things we add on later on. But for now, this is quite good. I'm quite pleased with this. I'm just bummed out we couldn't make some of these other items I wanted to test out here because we need polyethylene. But we'll get there eventually. We'll figure that out. But yeah, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to do for today. So let's go head back up here then. And we'll end off by claiming our quest rewards and opening some loot bags like we normally do. Alright, so we did get some quests knocked out. And actually, before we end off, I wanted to also make the single block ore washers, if we have the materials for that, actually. Because we just made the multi-blocks. We're not really going to need these, but we might as well make them anyways. Oh, we need an assembler for that. That's a bit complicated looking, isn't it? It looks... that's not that bad, actually. Alright, we'll do the ore washer. We need... Okay, we do need a machine hole for you. Do we have that in here? Well, iron, I think I've got some of that stocked up in here for now. Put you in there, and I do need some more steel plates for that area, so let's take some of those. I think we're going to need 2 casings. Then, oh, we've got cables, actually. Alright, well, we've got some of that in here as well. there's the other LV machine hull. That'll work. And then let's finish off by putting these... Well, we need that one for the ore washer. All right, that was a simple one. And then we need to go ahead and make this one the simple washer. LV circuit, a Tembaga rod, Tembaga screws. Okay, so we're going to need 2 Tembaga. We're also going to need, I think, a molten Tembaga. I hope we can melt that down. I'll test that out in our fluid extractor. Which one is that? Fluid extractor, you're right there. There we go. We're going to need a large cell. I'll pick you up. I think we need to put you in the assembler, it said. Yep, LV, and then we needed a couple of things. So, 1 rod, I think it said screws, so we'll cut this. How long will that take? 25 seconds, that's not too bad. We'll turn you into a full dust. And we'll do that. Alright, quite good. So, we're just waiting on that to cut in the bolt, and then we'll lathe that up, and then what else is it we needed? Potent pipes. So, we have that, I have that, I have that, and then the final thing, oh, LV circuit as well, we need one of those. That should be in here, we've got plenty of those. That there, and then bolts, we can turn those into screws. Come on, where's the 4th one? Any moment now, we should get a 4th screw. Of course it does that to me. Alright, and put that in there. We should get our simple washer, I think. Yep, there we go. So that will make us the simple washer, but we're not really going to need these. But we might as well knock the quests out, and there we go. Simple washer. Alright, so I'll just... let's put that in the machine chest for now, since I don't really think we'll need them at the moment. We might need them at some point, we'll see. I don't think we will, though, since we've got the multi-block. Alright, and that should be all that. So let's go ahead, then, and claim our quest rewards. So this is going to give us LV loot bag, ooh, and some large steel pipes. We're going to get some loot bag and some coins from you, and then... Whoops. Then we're going to do... this quest line here, which we did these. So we're going to get... we'll just do some Steam Age loot bags. Why not? Yeah, same thing for you. Did get quite a bit of coins. Alright, and we'll end off by opening up our loot bags. So, we got LV and Steam Age ones. So, Steam Age loot bags. A water bucket and a screwdriver made out of iron. Oh, we got some armor. Oh, wow. Nemacon's chain chest plate. I knew he was cheating, and this all has protection 3 and unbreaking 3. Which isn't really any better than what we currently have, actually, so that's kind of funny. And we also got some cucumber soup. Alright, so, getting quite full, but we got 2 more loot bags to open up, so let's open these up. We got a cow spawn egg and coated circuit boards, and we got a tank and some rainbow curry. Alright. Well, that was an interesting episode, but I'm quite happy with how we set up this system down here. Took a little bit of work. I had to think about it, and I'll probably do some adjustments here. But it's not that bad. We're already over halfway through all that tetrahedrite. We had a lot of tetrahedrite in there. And, yeah, look at that. 344 dust. We've got some antimony over a stack of antimony dust. That's just from byproducts. Some zinc dust, of course. We'll get more of that coming in. Yeah, I might change this out to a hopper, since that will be faster. For at least this situation. Yeah, I'll see. Let me know what you think, though. Let me know what you think about this whole setup, if there's any other changes I should make as well. But yeah, we got there in the end. We made this, and I'm quite happy with it. So I think that's where we're going to leave this episode. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.